Rebbe, the Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach in the Orthodox Jewish Bible. Someone might say, wait a minute, Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach, he has this all the way through his Orthodox Jewish Brit Hadashah. Who does this Phil Goebel think he is, translating nothing with that word? Or I should say with those three words, Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach. Well, I'm not translating nothing, I'm translating Christos. Look at Yohanan chapter 1, verse 25. Now that word is literally anointed, but it's a translation of Moshiach, Mem, Shin, Yod, Hey. Ashkenazic Hebrew, pronounced Moshiach. And of course, that concept is filled out right here. Not only in Yohanan chapter 1, verse 25, but Yohanan chapter 1, verse 49, where he's called Rebbe in Yiddish, Rabbi. And then it says Melech, translating the word Basileus, which is chapter 1, verse 49 of Yohanan. So there you have it. So if the Gentiles use this as a curse word, and if it has a bad meaning to many people, why should someone dead and buried in Old Montefiore Cemetery be given this title of respect when it's right here in this book in chapter 1, verse 49 and chapter 1, verse 25? Why, if it's there, why not translate it that way and do it consistently? That Christos means Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach. And of course, we're told right here in the last part of this chapter that the Bar Enosh, we know Daniel chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, all peoples will pay Lamed Het the Bar Enosh. But Daniel chapter 3, verse 12, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego will not pay Lamed Het the idols of Nebuchadnezzar. So we know from pay Lamed Het, an Aramaic word meaning, either to serve as deity or to reverence as deity or to worship as deity. We know from the way it's used there that the Bar Enosh is God. And we see here an allusion to Genesis 28:12 in John 1:51, where the angels go up to God with his desires and come down to serve him because he is the Bar Enosh on earth. And we get a feeling about that in chapter 11, verse 42 of Yohanan's Masuras HaGeolah, because he says, Father, I knew that you always hear me. You always hear me. So when he says, Lazarus, come forth, and Lazarus comes hopping out of the grave because he's bound hand and feet with the Tachrihim burial shrouds that the Chevra Kadisha have put on him. He can't unbind himself, he has to be unbound. When Yohanan gets to the empty tomb in Yohanan chapter 22, verse 20. I can't remember the exact reference here. Let me find it for you in the Orthodox Jewish Bible. He he stoops down and looks into the grave, and he sees that look at chapter 20. I'm looking at, this is the Orthodox Jewish Bible. I'm on page 964, Yohanan chapter 20. And also the mitznepet, head wrapping, which had been upon the head of Rabbi Melech HaMoshiach, the mitznepet, not lying with the takrihim. This is an Aramaic rendering of takrihim in Hebrew. But apart, having been folded up in one place. So, Yohanan comes to faith because he sees this. Look at Yohanan chapter 20, verse 8. It says, he saw and had emunah, because when he saw that the takrihim on the body had collapsed like a deflated balloon, meaning Moshiach had disappeared, or I should say dematerialized, which is the same idea you get in Luke chapter 24, where he is revealed. He's revealed in the breaking of the matzah, but then he dematerializes. Or they're in a locked room in the same chapter, a little bit later. All the envoys, the emissaries, the shluchim. We're talking about Yohanan and the 9 because Thomas was not there, and Judas Iscariot had already committed suicide. They're in a locked room, and what happens? The Mashiach, Rabbi Melech HaMoshiach, he materializes amongst them, and they encounter him. So when you really understand the first chapter of Yohanan, you see he is the Logos,